Hi, so I thought I'd do an absolute beginner's guitar lesson today. Hopefully there'll be something in this one for people that know how to play a little bit already, because I'll be talking about some of the words and the terminologies that I use for different parts of the guitar, because they can be a little bit confusing. So I'm going to start with really simply just what the bits of the guitar are called, because that's quite important. So this bit, this big bit here, is called the body of the guitar. This bit is called the head, and so this long bit, you guessed it, is the neck. And when we talk about the neck, and I talk about moving up the neck or down the neck, up the neck is this way, and down the neck is this way, which is the opposite to the way it would be in a giraffe. So up the neck is where the notes get higher, and down the neck is where the notes go to get lower. Now these are the strings. Now I'm playing on a nylon string guitar, which is a Spanish guitar or a classical guitar. I'll do some lessons on steel string and electric guitar as well. And can you see these metal lines up here? These are called the frets, with a F, with an F. Some of my students called them the threats in the past. And that's what we play on with our fingers, and it's called fretting the notes. So when we hold down our fingers, and it's the gaps between the fret lines that we hold down the notes to make the sound, or to change the sound. This bit here is called the sound hole, and that helps us make a nice loud sound when we play, because everybody loves a loud musician. And this is the bridge. Now, how do the strings make noise? That's one thing, that's a question. So when we play a string, you can strum it, you can pluck it. Some people use a plectrum to play with, sacrilege. And the strings vibrate. And actually, if I hold this up to the camera, you can see. So I'm going to play my low E string, and you can really see it vibrating. And if I stop it with a finger, then the noise stops. Try that on your instrument. And then stop it. Now, the stopping is quite important, because we can stop a note ourselves when we don't want to hear it anymore, but also sometimes one of our fingers might be stopping another string from playing just by touching it. So if our finger is accidentally getting into the space of another string and we don't want that to happen, then the noise will be deadened or dampened. There's also something you can do which is really fun, which is where, I'll explain this in another lesson, but people can dampen the strings deliberately by using the side of their hand over here. Our hands are very important on the guitar, obviously, but the words we use to describe the fingers is slightly different to if anyone's learnt the piano before. So we have undeniably 5 fingers, but not when we play the guitar. We have 4 fingers. So we describe our fingers as 1 to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of 1. So if you're going to count your thumb as well, you go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I talk about using your third finger, it's this one. Your second finger, it's this one. And your first finger is this one. So, and that's exactly the same on the right hand as well, or I'll use the word thumb. So those are the parts of the guitar. There's a couple of other things which might be useful when I'm talking about things. So the names of the strings. Okay, so the names of the strings are, these are the notes. E, play it with me. E, A, D, G, B, and E, another E. E, A, D, G, B, E. Now, there are a few ways to remember the names of these strings. One way is, say this after me, elephants and donkeys grow big ears. Elephants and donkeys grow big ears. And the first letter of each of those words can be the name of the strings. Elephants and donkeys grow big ears. So if I wanted to find the A string, I'd be like elephants and that's the A string. So the donkey string would be, and that's the D. G would be grow, B, big, ears. Elephants and donkeys grow big ears. Another one that one of my students told me was Eddie ate dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. If anyone else can come up with a way to remember the strings, E-A-D-G-B-E, then let me know in the comments and I'll share that with everybody. You may notice that we have two strings that have the same name, two E's. There's the low E and there's the high E. So, because this is the low string, because the note is low, and this is the high string because the note is high, the note is high. The way I talk about the strings is a little bit confusing as well, because if I talk about the bottom string, you'd normally think that this would be the bottom string, but actually, when I talk about the bottom string, I'm talking about the bass strings, which are these ones. So this is the bottom string because it's low. And when I talk about the top string, it's the one on the bottom. It's the high string. So that's a little bit flipped round. So the low E and the high E, bottom string and the top string. Cool. I'll leave it there. I'll do another one in a moment.